Star Trek is easily one of the most iconic franchises of all time. Even non-fans are familiar with the Vulcan salute and the phrase, "live long and prosper." However, back in the 1960s, its longevity was far less certain. It's no secret that the original series was facing cancellation during its second season. As early as 1967, Star Trek's creator, Gene Roddenberry, was actively looking for ways to expand the franchise. Though admittedly, this was as much about staying employed as it was creative expansion. I've previously talked about Roddenberry's unsuccessful attempt to use the episode Assignment Earth as a backdoor pilot for a potential spin-off.
Captain, we could say that Mr. Seven and Miss Lincoln have some interesting experiences in store for them.
Yes, I think we could say that.
Another idea involved the character of Dr. Mabenga. However, before getting to that, we first need to talk about an unproduced episode of Star Trek itself, entitled Shoal. The script for this episode was written by Darlene Hartman. Hartman had previously submitted 4 spec scripts, which had all been rejected. Nevertheless, both Gene Roddenberry and producer Gene L. Kuhn saw potential in her, and eventually wrote a basic story for Hartman to turn into an outline. Hartman's outline certainly fit the mold for a classic Star Trek episode. A little too well, as it turned out. The Enterprise arrives in orbit around a planet lush with vegetation. Upon beaming down, the landing party encounter a primitive culture whose every need is provided for by their god, Shoal. After some investigation, the crew discover that this deity is in fact a giant computer.
Apparently our hypothesis is correct. There is no living being there. It is a machine, nothing more.
Shoal begins to absorb members of the Enterprise crew, including Uhura, Sulu, Scotty, and McCoy. In order to save their shipmates, Kirk and Spock are forced to destroy the machine, leaving the planet's inhabitants without their god. Those familiar with the original series will likely note a number of similarities to The Apple by Max Ehrlich. Unfortunately for Hartman, that episode went into production first. Despite undergoing multiple rewrites, including one in which Shoal became a collective consciousness that appeared as a being of pure light, Shoal was ultimately abandoned. One element of Hartman's script which did make it into the series was the character of Dr. Mabenga, who instead made his first appearance in the episode A Private Little War, played by Booker Bradshaw.
As soon as he shows any signs of consciousness, call me immediately.
Yes, Doctor.
In the absence of Dr. McCoy, Dr. Mabenga was the ranking medical officer aboard the USS Enterprise. According to Hartman's script notes, Mabenga's first name was Joseph, and he was originally from Uganda. However, other sources give his first name as both Jeffrey and Jabilo, a name which means medicine man. In an attempt to rectify this inconsistency, the character's full name is generally accepted to be Jabilo Jeffrey Mabenga, though this was never stated on screen in the original series. The character returned once more in the episode That Which Survives. However, had things been different, Mabenga would have joined the main cast of another series. Don't forget to give this video a like, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Gene Roddenberry and Darlene Hartman came up with an idea for a spin-off entitled Hopeship. The series would follow the Federation hospital ship USS Hope. Like many Star Trek vessels, this name has its roots in real-world history. In addition to Dr. Mabenga, the series would also introduce his brother, Commander Simon Mabenga, who would serve as the ship's first officer. With a couple of exceptions, siblings in Star Trek are often limited to guest appearances. Having 2 brothers serve aboard the same ship would be an interesting development. The inclusion of 2 black lead characters in a series conceived in the 1960s would also continue Star Trek's racially diverse vision of the future. Obviously, Hopeship never developed beyond an idea, which I think is a real shame. Unlike Assignment Earth, the series would have felt more familiar to fans of the original series. For one thing, it was also set in the 23rd century aboard a Federation starship. However, its focus on the medical side of the Star Trek universe would have made it a unique addition to the franchise. This premise could have provided an opportunity for established characters such as Nurse Chapel and Dr. McCoy to make guest appearances. Had Hopeship outlasted its parent show, it could have also shown these characters continue to grow beyond the confines of the original series.
I hear Chapel's an MD now. Well, I'm going to need a top nurse, not a doctor who'll argue every little diagnosis with me.
Hopeship could have even brought back one-off characters such as Dr. Boyce and Dr. Piper. Given Dr. Mabenga's expertise treating Vulcans, as established in A Private Little War, it's likely that Hopeship would have featured the species in some capacity. Darlene Hartman later revisited the idea for Hopeship when writing the 5th book in the Ina series, which she wrote using the pseudonym Simon Lang. A number of Federation ships have borne the name USS Hope in expanded media, perhaps most notably in Star Trek Online. Despite only appearing in 2 episodes of the original series, Dr. Mabenga has also featured or been mentioned in various pieces of expanded media, including novels, comics, and even the fan series Star Trek Continues. The character officially returned to the franchise following a 53-year absence in Star Trek Strange New Worlds, now played by Babs Olusemokin. If this version of the character proves popular enough, perhaps we will finally see a Star Trek medical drama starring Dr. Mabenga. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you would have liked to have seen this spin-off, or if you hope we still will. If you enjoyed this video, why not give it a like? Maybe share it with a friend, or an enemy. Either way, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to see more content here on Channel 73.